Good morning. It's Wednesday, December the 9th, and this is The Drill. Thank you. The prayer of the day. Lord Jesus, nothing escapes your watchful gaze and care. May I always walk in the light of your truth and never stray from your loving presence. Amen. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host and the only true conservative in the United States today. Today, beware of moderates, foundation building, the collapse of parenting, where do we stand, conservative vocabulary, how to win, quote of the day, bring back, how to think about making a difference, and socialist aphorisms. All that when I come back. Thank you. You must know that there are no moderates, and you need to know that socialism and conservatism are contradictory, repugnant, and not contrary, like black and white. Contrary means that two political theories have something basic in common. For instance, socialism and libertarianism are contrary and not contradictory because they have the same basic root in common, namely idealism. Both want an ideal society, they just differ in terms of what they consider to be an ideal society. Contradictory means that they have nothing in common. Socialism is idealistic, and conservatism is realistic. Beware of foundation building. The left may make statements or ask questions that you're tempted to agree with because they sound innocuous, but they'll be used as the basis for future demands that trap you. For instance, do Black Lives Matter? Yes. Then reparations. Do Black Lives Matter? Of course. Then single-payer health care. Do Black Lives Matter? Certainly. Then socialism. All of the political mistakes in this country were made by building on a foundation. Title IX, abortion, the pill, are all built on the foundation that men are inherently and irredeemably oppressive. The legalization of the recreational use of marijuana is based on the foundation that marijuana and alcohol are both drugs. The Endangered Species Act is based on the fictional foundation that nothing can be known with certainty, skepticism. When I come back, who is the true conservative? Thank you. Who is the true conservative? First and foremost, he is realistic. Secondly, he is God-fearing. The true conservative is the man who follows his plan. He's appropriate. He's the person that has the courage of his convictions and is confident in what he knows. He is the person that subordinates politics to reality. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He's patriotic and uses common sense. He is judgmental and moralizes. He refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He's open-minded, asking why rather than why not. He's consistent, credible, and influential, not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He's a normal American, and he's better than the socialist. He's a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that being a true conservative is best, or you're wasting your time. Additional examples of what it means to be a true conservative can be heard by listening to John Cobelt and Ken Champeau on the John and Ken Show on KFI AM 640 Monday through Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. My podcast is short, approximately 5 to 20 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to. And the biggest socio-political influences in my life are Jesus Christ, my parents, my teachers, Hugh Hewitt, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Ayn Rand, and Dr. Mortimer Adler. My podcast is made available through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. I can be reached at thedrill12@gmail.com. That's thedrill, one word, 12, actually thedrill12, all one word, at gmail.com. So I'm going to now go ahead and read from the Collapse of Parenting, fascinating book that I got on Amazon.com. So I'm going to pick up from where I left off last time. Before we go any further in our discussion of the loss of parental authority, I have to make sure you and I are on the same page with regard to what I mean by parental authority. I've learned that when I speak to parents, many confuse parental authority with parental discipline. They think that parental authority is all about enforcing discipline. In fact, parental authority is primarily about a scale of value. Strong parental authority means that parents matter more than same-age peers. In contemporary American culture, peers matter more than parents. For most of the history of the human race, children have learned culture from the adults. That's why childhood and adolescence have to last so long in our species. But in the United States today, kids no longer learn culture from the grown-ups. American kids today have their own culture, a culture of disrespect, which they learn from their peers and which they teach to their peers. When I speak about the culture of disrespect, I'm referring not only to the ingratitude seasoned with contempt already noted, which is now the characteristic attitude of many American kids toward their parents. I mean also that American kids are now commonly show disrespect toward one another, and that they live in a culture in which such disrespect is considered the norm. 5 decades ago, the Beatles' single "I Want to Hold Your Hand" was a worldwide hit. In 2006, Akon released a single titled "I Want to Fuck You." The clean version, titled "I Want to Love You," was broadcast on the radio, but the original version with the foul language was the one which reached number 1 in the United States. So the only problem with, again, the whole book is that he approaches this from a very neutral standpoint, I'll give you the facts and let you decide a situation. He would be much better off and would communicate much more forcefully, be more potent if he would communicate as a true conservative. Where do we stand? The Pennsylvania Appeals Court denied President Trump's appeal to just decertify Pennsylvania's election results, and the Supreme Court has agreed to, or at least what it was is Judge Alito has agreed to listen to, or at least he's ordered the state of Pennsylvania to produce a response to President Trump's request for his writ, let's put it that way. So, also we have the state of Texas is now suing 4 states, claiming that the way that they handle their elections is unconstitutional and damages national elections. Several other states have joined in on that suit, either as plaintiffs or have submitted amicus briefs on that. So the Supreme Court also did yesterday, you may hear Supreme Court turned down one of President Trump's appeals. No. What they did was they turned down the president's request for an injunction against Pennsylvania to prevent them from seating their electors and continuing with to certify the election. So they denied that. But they did not deny the appeal itself. So Republicans still have a 6-3 majority in the Supreme Court, and that's good. Republicans have gained at least 8 seats and actually are up to, I've been told, 213 seats to the 222 of the Democrats in the House of Representatives. Also good. There is... let's see, Mike Garcia was the latest Republican to win his race in California. Senate is 50-48 in favor of the Republicans with 2 races outstanding. And Republicans have 27 governorships to the Democrats' 23. Republicans control 55 of 99 state legislative chambers. And so all of this means that all is not lost. There's a lot of talk about old Joe. Don't pay much attention to that because there's checks and balances in the work. The Supreme Court, the states, the many states that are run by Republicans, act as a check and balance on any Democrat ambitions. 4 more states made the wrong choice and legalized the recreational use of marijuana, and extremists in the state of California are now using that marijuana, the legalization of marijuana, to use it as a foundation for creating a ballot measure to decriminalize magic mushrooms, heroin, and cocaine. George Soros is still not dead yet, but I sure wish he were. No law enforcement union has been decertified, and no laws shielding officers from prosecution have yet been repealed, and that's dangerous because we can look forward to more aggressive attitudes from police departments and sheriff's departments across the country. The most unpatriotic piece of legislation, the Patriot Act, is still the law of the land, mocking the Constitution and creating the blueprint for autocratic rule in this pandemic. New York Times v. Sullivan continues to encourage news people to be super citizens who can use unnamed sources to slander and defame people at will without fear of consequences. And New York Times v. Sullivan should be overturned. Where's the expose on the Washington press corps? Where is nonprofit news? Governor Newsom has enacted a racist scheme to keep Californians locked down indefinitely. When I come back, conservative vocabulary. Thank you very much. There's more to being conservative than how you vote. If you want to be a true conservative, you have to act, think, and talk like a true conservative. Hence, conservative vocabulary. No. Go back. Acceptance. Mind your own business. From now on. Right, wrong, should, good, bad, evil, reality, certainty, morality, beauty, and polity. These terms are conservative because they express bias. How to win? Follow the conservative commandments. Number 1, thou shalt not be neutral. There is a cult of neutrality in this country, and it is pervasive. It extends to how we communicate verbally, how we communicate in writing. It is books and news and on and on and on. This whole idea, I'll give you the facts and let you decide, and it's crap. We're all biased. The thing that we need to do is confess our bias and then go ahead and express it. And then we're being candid and honest and accurate. And that's what's really most important, not being neutral, but being accurate. Number 2, thou shalt not be pragmatic. Number 3, thou shalt not be idealistic. Number 4, thou shalt not be materialistic. Number 5, thou shalt not be skeptical. And number 6, thou shalt not be an activist, which is when you act first and think later. When some lefty asks you where all the evidence of election fraud is, the best answer is, you mean you don't see it? When are you going to open your eyes? The quote of the day, quote, here you are, you're a liberal, probably define peace as the absence of conflict. I define peace as the ability to defend yourself and blow your enemies into smithereens. Sean Hannity. As conservatives, we make the presumption for the status quo and change only when there's an obvious or prima facie case for change. Therefore, the following terms should be brought back into civilized conversation. Bring back normality, sanity, privacy, property rights, the pre-1970 filibuster, outlawry, single-income households, integration, parenting, and along with it, corporal punishment, the primacy of existence, certainty of knowledge, and universal rights and wrongs. Bring back principled behavior, masculinity, and femininity. Adam 12, John F. Kennedy, the gold standard, pre-HMO medical care, nonprofit news, civil service, the term stupid question, arguments and fights, the cultural influence of the church and the Boy Scouts. Bring back the Lions Club and the Rotary Club. Bring back bowling. Bring back linear thinking and bring back smart. When I come back, making a difference. Thank you. Making a difference means sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. The people that whisper in your ear are trying to get you to take risks that they themselves are unwilling to take. More than likely, you and I are not going to make a dramatic difference. Presidents and popes make dramatic differences. Rank-and-file voters, taxpayers, and laity will not make a dramatic difference. It's like professional sports. The vast majority of players will not make a dramatic difference. They will have successful careers, mind you, but it will be the Michael Jordans that will make a dramatic difference. Listening to the sports stars, rock stars, and movie stars that tell you that you can make a difference will only frustrate you and waste the most precious commodity you have, your time. Be of good cheer. The universe is benevolent, and success is to be expected. Therefore, the left has no authority, no power, and they can't win. Think about it. Socialist aphorisms. Subvert the dominant paradigm. Question authority. Question everything. Coexist. These aphorisms are socialist because they express neutrality. Up next, the ICE tip line. Thank you. And now for the ICE tip line. 866, let's try it again. The ICE tip line is 866-347-2423. One more time. The ICE tip line is 866-347-2423. The California Governor's Switchboard is 916-445-2841. The White House switchboard is 202-456-1111 or 202-456-1414. The Senate House switchboard is 202-224-3121. On the next episode, know who your enemies are. And that concludes another episode of The Drill. Be honest, be smart, be beautiful, and always ask yourself, what is real? How do I know? And what should I do about it? I'm Ron, and that is The Drill.